Grand Rising. Happy Tuesday, all. So, my DG's battery died, so I have my phone propped up. That's why it's kind of a different angle today, and hopefully the phone will stay put because I literally have it rigged inside of one of my boxes here. So this is the altar spread for the collective today. The sacred geometry that showed up for today is Mayan dream. And so if you look at the Mayan dream, the central is the golden spiral. And remember I said I would share the story of this shell every single time spiral came up, no matter what. And so the golden spiral represents perfection. This is the perfect flow of energy, is the spiral. And so this shell was gifted to me by a beautiful friend, Doug, who hiked into the heart of Yarmany. So I encourage you to look up Yarmany, which is a mountain range. And the mountain range was actually in honor of this beautiful chief, Yarmany. And the heart of Yarmany is a very remote space in that mountain range that is unvisited by man. And so my friend Doug had to bushwhack his way into the heart of Yarmany, braving mountain lions, actually coming across fresh kills, and sleeping out in the open with his firearm on his chest. And he saw these shells there, millions of years old, these shells, and thought of me and brought one back for me. So he put this in his pack and packed it out. And when I finally got to meet him in person up in Colorado, he gifted me this. And what a sacred gift. And all of that beautiful experience. And he thought to bring something back for me. I'm just over the moon honored about that. So I swore whenever a spiral would come up in the spread, I would share that story because that sets the bar really high. And so the golden spiral will always bring the message of perfection in sacred geometry. And so the Mayan dream, having the golden spiral as a center, it actually calls you to go enter dream time, enter that dream state with an intention to seek clarity, to seek the perfection of maybe what you're missing or the experience, or however you can progress in your evolution. If you set the intention before you sleep, you can receive answers in that dream state. And it's a very powerful thing to do. So this is for today, right? If you have a chance to meditate, you can also enter dream time in meditation, or for tonight. If you're not going to have that downtime today, do that tonight, because remember, these daily spreads are for today. This is current for today for the collective consciousness. And so these two cards will bring the energy of the day, and then this is your tool to use. But the Mayan dream is telling you that you need to seek clarity and you need to find where the perfection lies. And so if you feel a little off kilter because we're now in the shadow aspect of Mercury coming out of the retrograde, and this is going to last a few weeks. The shadow lasts a few weeks, even though the retrograde was 6 weeks. We're in the shadow prior, which is like a preview, and then we're in the retrograde, right? Which is the deep healing, the shakeup, the chaos, and then the shadow aspect, once it leaves and goes direct, this shadow aspect is the cleaning up of the mess that was created during the retrograde and the fine tuning, so that when you come out of the shadow in 3 weeks, all of the healing that you did in that retrograde is clear. So really clearing up those old patterns and problem-solving skills that you really aren't going to need to take forward into this next step, into your spiritual journey, your evolution, your path. And so the beauty way has shown up, and the beauty way showed up in the reverse. So in the upright aspect, beauty way talks about how you are surrounded by perfection. And showing up in the reverse says, you think you have entered into something, but it's fantasy. You are actually being out of integrity because of that fantasy. So it's telling you to really be brutally honest with yourself and to let go of the fantasy, because you will have a hefty debt to pay when you come out of that, because you're being very greedy and out of integrity. So really be honest with yourself about that. And it's kind of echoing the message of Mayan Dream, because Mayan Dream is telling you to enter the dream state to get clarity and find the perfection. And this is saying you are entering into an illusion because you think it's perfection by fantasy. And it's really not. And there will be a debt to pay because it's out of integrity. So this is in the waking state. It's the chaos, right? This is saying go to sleep, you're in chaos. So to seek clarity, go into dream time. This is saying you are out of integrity. You're living in a fantasy, but you need to seek the truth of it and be honest with yourself. So really they're echoing the same message. So really, the hardest person for us to be honest with is ourselves sometimes, right? Because we reject a lot of ourselves. There's self-doubt, there's shame, there's guilt around it. And that's why people live out of integrity, because they want to be lovable. But really being brutally honest with yourself and seeking love without conditions for yourself is how it shows up for you outside of yourself. I have been in my workshops before and have people right in my face making eye contact say, I love myself unconditionally. And I go, really? Didn't you just admit sentences ago that you sometimes hold your tongue or act differently in one environment than the other because you don't want to create waves? It doesn't matter how you fucking sugarcoat it. If you are not the same person in every environment, that's deceit. That's editing. That's a lie. It's arrogant. It's out of integrity. It's holding other people captive to this fantasy version of you, which is not really you. And so that's what that's talking about. A lot of people don't see that aspect. They think, oh, well, I didn't lie. Yes, you are fucking lying. If you're editing who you are, that's a lie. That's a lie, straight lie. And it's not, we have been so conditioned to believe that there is quote unquote white lies, but all lies are lies. They're all lies. And I've never raised my kids that way, that it's okay to tell any kind of lie. I've never told someone I was busy when I'm not busy. And it's just really important to be as honest as you can be and in your highest integrity, because then there are no captives. Everyone that's sharing space with you is there on their own volition and they want to be there. And the same for you. You deserve that same respect to see the truth of someone, to make your decisions based off of truth, not based off of a fantasy. And that's what the beauty way in reverse is talking about, that you are entering into some fantasy and you need to be honest, because there will be a hefty debt to pay coming out of that. There are going to be consequences. And there's always consequences when you're out of integrity. Always. Always, always. I know for those of you who become victim of that deceit, sometimes it feels like they're getting off scot-free. But no, there is always, always always ramifications for deceit. So it's not for you to bring down the hand of justice, but it will be dealt. And so howlite is the tool to use for today. And howlite is a beautiful stone. It really doesn't get a whole lot of credit in the crystal world a lot, but howlite is beautiful. It's calming. It has this really creamy energy. And it's the stone that's often used to be dyed to pretend it's turquoise, but it has a very different energy than turquoise has. And so you see how it has this beautiful gray veining, almost like marble, but it does look like turquoise when it's dyed, so it's often used for beads. But howlite has a very specific energy. Hello. And the energy of howlite is calming, but it's such a clarity. So really it's great if you want to enter in, like this card is saying, enter the dream state for clarity. You can use howlite for that because it really does make everything clear. And so it says here it brings the energy of reason, but it is a clarity. It brings you back into integrity, but through way of reason. So when you have like an end goal, like this is what I want, this is what I really desire, universe, like this is really, really, really what I'm going for. You have to be realistic in the steps to get there, right? Like I can't jump. And so a lot of people do that through ways of getting out of integrity because they think that there's a fast track, and there's not a fast track. And so howlite shows you. It shows you how to enter into the steps to the end result with clarity. So the same as dream time, bringing into pictures the perfection, the steps that it's going to take, the necessary steps within reason to bring you that end result that you desire. And then it also helps you be honest. Is this really my desire? Because just like Beauty Way in reverse is saying you're entering into that fantasy, is that really what you desire? Or does it just look like it's what you desire because you're not even being honest with yourself? And a lot of people enter into deceitful scenarios because they believe that that's what they want, because they're more concerned with the win than they are the actual work of it. So howlite can help you with that. And so the circle cross of tenon brings the message again that there is going to be a rare intersection of heaven and earth, that you will be endowed with wisdom that is your birthright if you can cross into that higher frequency and higher state of being, but you do have to leave the baggage behind. And I love that this showed up in the shadow aspect of Mercury, because like I said, the shadow aspect of leaving, where it's going direct now, is about the cleaning up. Okay, what did I learn in the preview shadow aspect before the retrograde? What did I learn in the retrograde? And now we're in the shadow aspect where it's about to go direct. This is the refining. Let's clean it up. And so I love that this showed up, because this is saying, you know what, let's cut some sandbags off of this hot air balloon and gain some loft, y'all. So I love that this showed up. So really be honest with yourself. That's the spread for today, really, is can you be honest with you? Can you be honest with you? If no one else is in the room, it's just you, can you even be honest with you? So that's the spread for today. Thank you all for giving me your time, sharing this space in the ether with me. I appreciate you. I love you. And I am sorry for any discord that I myself have created as source. Please forgive me. Thank you, Jessie. It was good to see you this morning. And thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, takes one to know one, Jesse. You're a light. I love you.